Hi, so now we're going to talk about some other common errors. So if I look up here, I have import, I have style sheet, text, view, and I'm using all these elements inside of my page. And if you notice the code here, they're properly nested. I have view with text elements inside, and then I come down here and I have my styles. So everything's nicely packaged inside of our project file here. So what happens if I come in here and I put text here? What's going to happen? Well, let's save my file here. Let's go back to my simulator. Let's do a Command R to reload. And I get some error here. Now this error isn't exactly intuitive, but it tells me that it's a syntax error. So it tells me what line it's on, line 17, which is great. So I can go here, I can see line 17. Yeah, I have some text and it's saying it doesn't like the way that this text is placed. And that's because it's not in a text element. So what happens if I wrapped it in a text element? I said I'm going to define this text, this content, as text. So now if you see my code, my syntax here, the code that I've just wrote is similar to this. Except it doesn't have a style applied, which is fine. I don't need a style applied. So I'm going to save. I'm going to go back to my simulator here. I'm going to do a Command R to reload. And it tells me that it's an error. It doesn't like it. It says adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in a closing tag. So now what's this saying? Well, again, it's not extremely intuitive, but it says line 18. So it doesn't like my code above here, in this case, line 17. So what happens if I took this text code here, this text block, this text component, I cut it, then I saved my file, then I went back to the simulator, did a Command R, it works. Now what if I placed my text block inside of here, inside of this view? So what's going to happen? Well, let's save this. Let's go back to my simulator. Let's do a Command R to reload. And it runs it with this as some text. So make sure whenever you're using components on a page, you always place them inside where they should be. So in this case, text has to be inside of a view in order for it to render and my actual app to load inside the simulator and work. Otherwise, I'm going to get an error. And let's just go back and show you this error one more time. So now let's save this. Let's go back to our simulator, do a Command R, and we see that this is an ugly error message here. And basically it means that I've used a component outside of where a component should be used. So the other error we're going to get is if we just type some text outside of being in any component. We do a save, we come back to the simulator, we do a Command R to reload, and we get a different kind of error. We get this unexpected token. And that just means we've done something that we're not supposed to, syntax error. So then we just double check our syntax to make sure that our syntax is good. In this case, it's not. I freely type some text. So if you're coming from a web background and you're writing against the DOM and rendering against the DOM, then view is like a div tag. It's our container. And inside of our container, we're going to put other tags. And text is really like our span tag, and we can apply styles to it just like we could in a span tag. And then inside that tag, we're going to put some text. This is just covering some common errors that you're going to run into if you're not careful where you're placing code and where you're typing code. Thanks.